Hi, I like to walk around the world, and today we're going to talk about Nadi. If you've never walked around Fiji and would appreciate a first-hand experience, this video will be about Nadi. I did 2 long walks because I don't like to spend money on transportation if the walk is less than an hour or around an hour. That's one of my favorite ways to travel on a budget, and I prefer getting to know a place on foot. I don't want the tourist experience, I want the local experience. So let's talk about it. After I landed, I took the shuttle to my hotel, and it was on the same road that downtown is on. So I saw on the map that I could just walk directly there. It was gonna take about an hour, but I just got off of a long flight. I needed to move my body. I don't think most people opt to walk, but that's what I did. I loved that it was a straight shot from my hotel because it meant I didn't have to have my phone out and navigate and look more like a tourist than I already did, being so pale, as the guy from the trinket shop pointed out. I'm pretty sure there were sidewalks the whole way, and I felt very safe walking along the road, even before reaching downtown. I loved the lush scenery that you could walk by in the open fields. It looked very jungly. There were beautiful flowers. I walked through to the end of the city to a temple that was recommended. I think I paid a small fee, and I was modestly dressed enough to go without having to borrow or rent clothing. It was Sunday, so most things were closed, but I did get to do some shopping, and I would have walked more, but I unplanned spent a lot of time buying weed and getting help to roll it into joints. So that was a key part of this experience. I walked back exactly the same way I came, and there were people selling coconuts on the side of the road, so that was great. I picked up one of those at tourist price, obviously.
It's very heavy.
I didn't notice anyone aside from cabs maybe slowing or pulling over to, help me, because why am I choosing to walk? But I had my AirPods in, and other than that, I didn't notice anyone yelling or trying to get my attention, which was nice. So that made me feel very safe, and it was a nice bit of solitude. Overall, people were very friendly, and it was an awesome first day. After visiting a couple islands, I came back to Nadi and stayed in a different area, slightly different area, closer to the beach. I wanted to walk to the ocean, but honestly, the heat got me last time. So I did take a cab and tried to follow Google Maps walking directions to get me from where the cab dropped me off to the shore, which led me through a construction site with a fence and water that I couldn't cross to get to the actual ocean. So that was interesting. So I stopped relying on Google, and I started at the edge where the restaurants were and walked along the shore, followed it the entire way until I couldn't anymore, until the water sort of started meeting the sand. It was very marshy and sort of impossible to cross unless I wanted to be actively swimming, which I really wasn't prepared for. I walked past resorts, which was kind of nice because they had bars where I could fill up my water. I went past cows. There were people ATVing on the sand, which was cool. And I stopped before returning on the same path to take a shade break, smoked a joint, and enjoyed the view. I only passed one other person doing the same kind of walk that I was doing. He wasn't really wearing too much. I think he was fully maybe prepared to swim. I think the only way that you would be able to cross the whole shore, and I thought you can't, probably you can, I don't know, I would love to, but in order to go further, I think you would have had to be prepared to swim, and I was not prepared to swim because even on the way back, the tide was coming in and it required me to cross water past my knees. I had to hike up my dress. Thankfully, my Hoka shoes were waterproof and ready for such adventure. So that worked out beautifully.
She's adventurous. Woo! Yeah.
I walked all the way home after refueling with a smoothie bowl. I think this is one of my favorite things about traveling is anywhere you go obviously is new, feels new, so you can just make a grand adventurous walk out of anything and anywhere. I would love to go back and do the Sleeping Giant hike, which is more inland, and to see the other shores, of course. So if you're staying in Nadi and wondering if you can just walk there, you can. It might take you half a day and you will sweat, but you definitely can.